Which strategy to be used during the migration, the Greenfield approach, Brownfield approach, or the Bluefield, in other words, hybrid approach? Which migration strategy to be used? So depending on the company's requirements, these three strategies are possible. There is no good way or bad way to go using these approaches, because each approach has some advantages, each approach has some disadvantages, but for different scenarios, different approaches are suitable. So these advantages and disadvantages should be identified according to your company's needs. Let's start with the Greenfield implementation. In Greenfield implementation, a new SAP system is built from scratch. So a new environment without any legacy data or process. So you start from scratch. It's a clean slate approach. So, and the existing systems are not directly integrated or migrated. Completely build a new system. So advantages of Greenfield implementation. First of all, it's a clean start. So you make a clean start. You start with a fresh, clean SAP environment. So you can adopt the latest technologies and best practices in your system. From the optimization perspective, all processes and configurations can be tailored to fit organization's current needs and future needs. Also, it reduces the complexity because there is no legacy system to consider, and it reduces potential integration challenges at the same time. So in using Greenfield implementation, you have to consider three main issues. The first one is the data migration, because you have to transfer historical data to the new system, and transferring this data may require a separate effort because the data should be cleaned, should be formatted according to new standards and templates. So you have a separate effort for data migration. Also, training and change management is another issue. Employees will require training on the new system, and as a result of this, potentially it will be higher in terms of cost, and it will take longer time compared to other implementations. For the Brownfield implementation, it's an approach where an existing SAP system is upgraded, transformed, or migrated to the new version or module. So it involves the reconfiguration or enhancing of an existing SAP landscape. So in Brownfield approach, actually you upgrade, transform, or migrate an older version to the new version. What are the advantages of Brownfield implementation? First of all, preservation of investments. So you preserve the existing data, process, and configurations are retained, which leads to cost saving. On the other hand, it provides incremental changes, it allows more gradual changes, and it reduces potential disruptions. In Brownfield implementation, what are the considerations? First of all, the legacy constraints. So you have to consider the legacy system. You may be constrained by the existing configurations or outdated technologies in your legacy system. So this is the risk in the Brownfield implementation. To remove the inefficiencies, the legacy system should be optimized. Even some processes may be redesigned. Also, it is potential for technical debt. Older customizations and customizations might be needed to revisit it and optimize in Brownfield implementation approach. So the third implementation approach is the Bluefield implementation approach, which is a combination of the first two. In Bluefield implementation combines the elements of both Greenfield and Brownfield approach. In this approach, you create a new SAP environment and then selectively integrate existing system and processes. In this case, you selectively integrate existing system and the new system. What are the advantages? First of all, it's a balanced approach. So it allows the adoption of the new technologies where you still leverage the existing investment and data. On the other hand, it minimizes disruption. Existing processes and systems can be used to operate while the new environment is developed. Finally, it is flexible because organizations can choose which parts of the existing landscape to be integrated and which parts not. So this is the flexibility that Bluefield implementation provides. In this implementation approach, what are the considerations? First of all, integration complexity. Depending on the existing systems, integration efforts can be complex. So this is the main complexity. Also, data mapping and transformation. Data from the existing systems should be mapped, transformed to fit the new environment. This is the other complexity that we also observe in the Greenfield implementation as well. In this slide, we have a summary of these three strategies. As I said, to summarize, in the Greenfield implementation, you start from scratch. You do not have any legacy system constraint. It is highly flexible. So all of the business processes can be realigned according to best practices, and SAP standard and best practices can be implemented. However, it takes longer time and it has higher costs. For the Brownfield implementation, on the other hand, it leverages existing systems. So it's an upgrade and optimize an existing SAP system. It preserves some of the legacy elements. It is cost effective because it requires fewer resources compared to the Greenfield approach. And also the main risk is the risk of carrying the inefficiencies from the old system. So this is the main risk in the Brownfield implementation. For the Bluefield implementation, on the other hand, it is a hybrid approach, as I said. It optimizes existing processes. It seeks to improve processes while reusing some existing configurations as well. So it's the balanced approach. It balances cost and innovation. At one side, innovations that the new system introduces, and you balance the cost. And also, the main challenge is the planning. So in Bluefield implementation, the planning should be done very carefully because some of the functionalities will be implemented in the new system, some of them will not be implemented. So a careful planning is required in the Bluefield implementation.
Thank you, Yavuz, for presenting, and have a good evening, everyone.
Thanks for your participation. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.